Hello. Okay, I think we made it. I think we got this. So I see some of you are here. I'm going to... we started out in our car office. It's a little bit windy outside, and I just want to make sure things are working and all that. So, hi, how are you? Let's see. Let's flip this around. Hey, guys. Good to see you. Glad you made it. So, yay. So I'm going to check out, see what this looks like online here. It's a little bit challenging when your office is always getting set up new again in the computer. So I see the live thing there. I just wanted to check it out while we were live. This is like my learning curve. Hey, hi Coffee and Create. You made it again. Oh, cool. Okay, so I see Neela. Hey, Neela. You made it. All right, awesome. Okay, and I see I'm live, and I see me, and okay, that looks good. And I see chat. All right, so we're gonna undo this thing here, and we're gonna go out and see some horses. And I have to also put on the little microphone. Now, the check is, do we have sound? I have to listen. Check is, do we have sound? Oh, we got sound. Yay. Okay. All right. We all made it. We're here. It's awesome. We're gonna have fun with horses. Okay, so I'm gonna unplug from computer. And we're gonna get my lights, camera, sound, wind. Okay, we got our microphone because it was a little bit windy earlier. I think it's a little bit less windy right now. Hey Robin, happy Wednesday. So this is so cool. So we're getting a little bit more traction with you guys, and I advertised a little bit more to a few of you than the last time. So this is our second time going live on YouTube, which is really exciting. And I better find some sunglasses because it's a little blinding out there. Okay, sunglasses check. Oh, and we need a hat because horse people need hats. There we go. All right. So today, hi, I'm Monica, and I started United Mustangs of America, and I'm going to teach you a little bit about horse behaviors and herd dynamics. Oh, no chat on phone. I see chat there. Now I'm walking through a little bit of an area. Do we still have sound? Because I did plug in the mic. So we're gonna wait for a little sound check before I go off explaining all kinds of really cool stuff about horses. Glad you made it. So on my other platform, sounds still good. Okay, awesome. You can't chat on the phone. Oh, okay. You must be on a computer. All right, so sounds good. Everything's good. And we got, let me show you what's right here. Well, actually, we'll just turn around, show you what's right here. We got all of these horses. Now, what my students don't get the privilege of doing when coming out here is simply just watching the horses. So we're gonna look at animal behavior. So let's observe this. All good, understand, awesome. Okay, so let's turn around, and I'm gonna narrate this little horsey, nonchalant soap opera. Horses do have a lot of drama about them. And this is what we call homeostasis. So, yay, it's working on phone, good deal. All right, so horses have what we call homeostasis. And we have homeostasis, and basically that is your relax, rest, eat food, reproduce, all that kind of mode. So, except for Sally, she's kind of stompfoot right now. So right now they're showing homeostasis. There's no excitement. They're relaxed. Sailor. So we'll introduce the horses. We got, yeah, Juno, Sally. So these are the two girls. So these are the mares. And we have Sailor and Troy. So these are the two boys. So even though they're not doing a whole lot, but pay attention to every little nuance, from the flick of their ears. Juno right there, she's licking and chewing. That's showing that she's coming into relaxation. And a little turn of the head. And how Sailor is just relaxing here. And even the position the two boys are in. So notice how they're parallel next to each other, but they're in opposite directions. And what we call that is a mutual grooming position. So we can go into a lot of things about that. And Juno's kind of in a position how a baby foal might be towards a mom. She's kind of back at the back end and tucking her head up underneath, you know, where a baby horse would get a feeding from her mom. So all of this body positioning, it's not training, it's simply observation. So the horses have their own social dynamics, and their body language tells you a lot about where they stand in the herd. So I titled this video, let's flip this around. So I titled this video, Who is the Boss Mare? And can anybody tell me what a Boss Mare is? So in the herd, we're gonna flip it back around. So in the herd we have mares, and these would have been stallions, except they're fixed males, so now they're what we call geldings. So we have basically mares, which are female, and geldings, which are male. So the Boss Mare in the herd is the one that keeps the herd together. And Sailor just sighed like, we already know this, Mom. Making jokes. But so the lead mare is the one who moves whose feet. So if you are in a herd of horses, so you're a human, right? You're a horse trainer, and you're going to go around influencing all of these horses. You're going to be the one that moves their feet, right? So a horse judges you by what you do. And so if you are able to move that horse's feet, that horse is going to have respect for you and move away from you, right? Or towards you. Basically, you have to be the influencer. So a lot of people will misinterpret horses and say it's about dominance. And it's really not that. It's actually about leadership. So, you know, they're influencing another horse member's herd's feet to move. So if you look at Sally and Juno right there, what just happened? And then Sailor's kind of looking back at the commotion, like, what's going on, guys? And Juno's looking like, hey, nope, no worries. Oh, okay, good example. So Sailor did a beep, 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 right? He went backwards and put his butt on Sally. Oh, now he's putting his ears back and moving Sally away. And Juno's moving away too. And so who's the boss of these horses here? So who moved whose feet is the question. And it's as simple as that. The Sailor's going to demonstrate some more. Good work, guys. So Sailor's not a mare. But he kind of acts like one. Because... oh, I gotta move. Because he has adopted Troy. He doesn't know the girls quite as much as Troy because I don't let them live together. So the girls live together in one pen and the boys live together in another pen. And so Sailor really bonded with Troy. So he's acting like a boss mare to Troy. So if you realize what just happened, Sailor said, hey, you girls are too close to my dude. He's like, this is my dude. Girls, back off. And then he went back to his dude. So Sailor's acting a little bit like a Boss Mare. Now, in the wild, there's a herd of bachelors. So boy horses can group together and create the same herd dynamics. And so that's kind of what we have here. So we have our little bachelor herd. And so who's the boss of who? So we didn't see who moves whose feet between these two. But it's going to be interesting to see. Now, you definitely could tell during feed time who's the boss of who, because the horse that's the boss horse out of the herd will eat first. Yep. So if the horse pushes the other horse out of the food trough, and then the other one has to get seconds, then that one's beneath the other horse. So there's no equality in horse world. There's always above or a below. There's no equality. And if you see equality in the horse world, it doesn't really look like equality. It looks like a fight, because they're trying to establish who is on top of who. So if they're fighting, they're saying, hey, I'm moving your feet. No, I'm moving your feet. No, hey, I'm moving your feet. So they're moving each other's feet. And the one that walks away first is the one that is not on top, right? So if you see equality, they're going to be establishing position, and they all have their hierarchy. So they're just chilling here, kind of in a mutual grooming position, and Sailor's licking and chewing, showing relaxation and stuff, and wondering, why in the world am I standing here? Oh, I was going to show you girls, but they're having a potty break. We'll give them privacy. And so mutual grooming position looks like this, sort of, except they would be a little bit more backed up from each other, where they can nuzzle each other's right behind their necks. Right now they're swatting flies off of each other's faces. I don't know if that's the intention, but that's what's happening. You know, so it's a lot about observing. And so when we get into horse handling science, you got to observe the nature of the horse. So when you stick yourself into yourself into the dynamics of the horse world, you got to understand first the basic laws of nature. And so right now they're in homeostasis. Troy's kind of itching his nose on Sailor's rear end, and Sailor's like, hey. That's kind of funny. And now back to the girls. She's done with her potty break. So they're just kind of standing together like sisters. They're just hanging out, and they're just kind of relaxing, falling asleep. I think Sally's itching her eyeball on the fence. And they're just like, all right, we're waiting. And Sally's kind of stomping. I think that's Sally's expression way of saying, get on with the show, guys. Get on with the show. And they got flies because it's summertime, so she's itching, she's swatting flies and all this kind of stuff, which is typical of horses. But today we're looking at how they're interacting with each other. So that was pretty cool how Sailor in the beginning just kind of says, hey girls, back up. And then they did. So we're going to go find a tool. We're going to find a tool that motivates horses to move. So I could very well go around flapping my arms and kicking feet and pinning my ears, but it doesn't really work too good as a human. So I need to find a stick that makes me a little bit bigger like a horse. So there's like, what's coming? So I have to go find a motivator to move the horse's feet. So we're going to move the horse's feet, and I'm going to narrate what that's about when we see that in action. And I failed to get a whippersnapper before we started. I just wanted to get started, so I got to find one. I think I know where one is. So do you guys have any questions? And if you haven't given this video a like, give it a like. It makes our videos rank up. And here's a whippersnapper. Found one. Now, Crazy Sailor likes to eat the ends off of them, so they don't have the ends anymore. I don't know if you can see. And I like to tie plastic bags on the end of them too, but for the sake of the video, I didn't want to have a bunch of plastic bag sounds while we were filming, because it just goes ch-ch-ch-ch. So we'll just use this little broken whippersnapper. So, all right, so I'm gonna flip it around because now they're moving around because I left. There we go. They're well influenced. Okay, so you as a horse trainer, and I really don't like to use that word necessarily. I would rather say horse leader, horse influencer, horse commander, or something, because I don't like to use the words control. There's no such thing. And that kind of thing. So is Boss Mare the top horse or the stallion on top? So good question. So Boss Mare is obviously the mare horse, and I'm using that as a term to be the one that influences. So maybe I didn't explain. Sometimes I get on tangents, so thanks. But so in the herd, there's usually one boy horse and surrounded by a bunch of girl horse. So it's like a harem. So you have your boy and all your girls, right? So in this case, we have 2 boys and 2 girls. So it makes a little bit unbalanced herd here. So if I was to remove one of these boys, you would see one of these girls be on top and following, well, not really following their boy around. Maybe they'll be leading their boy around. Now in the wild, if this was a wild herd, Sailor's not typical. He'd rather keep his boy sacred rather than go find the girls. Although I do see him follow the girls around sometimes in the yard. So now the girls will band together. So the stallions will go off and fight. And, you know, they come into a big field around springtime, and they go and the boys fight together, and they want to steal each other's girls. So the girls stick together in a big band, right? And then the boys go and fight and try to win all the girls. So even though the stallion may win the fight, it's up to the boss mare to say, hey, I want to stick with that guy. So the boss mare still may be loyal to the old guy who have lost the fight. So in the end, say, because Juno's right now loyal to Troy, he keeps running the girls off because he wants to be near Troy. But in this herd, Troy and Juno have been, all these 2, he's the new one. So he doesn't know where to fit in. So he takes Troy. And so he shoves off the girls. And the girls are like, hey, we know Troy first before you. What are you doing? So she tries to get around to the other side of Troy, where Troy gets in the middle. So you see a lot of soap opera happening here. So say the stallion won, the female still has to want to be with that dude, the new dude. So we've seen in some documentaries that the mares will run around with the new guy, and then they're like, hey, wait a minute, we don't like this guy, and they run right back to their old stallion member. So it's really up to Miss Boss Mare right here. And now see, okay. So it's really up to Boss Mare to decide where she's gonna be. So this is interesting too. Juno went to me. She's like, hey, that dude's following me around. Protect me. So she sees me actually as the herd leader, and which brings us to the human aspect, right? Because you in your herd, this is my herd here. All these horses see me as the quote unquote boss mare. And I say to my human students, I don't care if you're male or female, you want to be the boss mare. So it's really just a term for your position in the herd, right? Because you are the main influencer, right? So you're going to influence where this herd goes, what they do, and how they move their feet, and all these kinds of things, and how they even organize. So I'll show you how I influence them in the round pen all together to work together. And so just to go back to what Juno just did, she comes over to me saying, hey, save me from that guy over there, because I know you have command. So I, human boss mare, have command over all of these horses, so I can save Juno from that guy getting on her rear end. And when Juno came over to me, who was following right behind? Look where Sally's going. So Juno has ultimate loyalty of Sally. So Sally and Juno, we call them sisters because they act a lot like sisters. And look at how Sailor's just protecting his Troy. And Troy's just like a ham saying like, they're all fighting over me. Hey. Hey, Aria, or Randy, hi. So, good to see you. And look how Sailor's pointing his rear end, which is his protection zone, right? Because horses kick each other. That's how they demand respect. And he puts his rear end towards the girls and herds off his boy. And he's even telling Troy that he can't see those girls. And so now I'm not doing anything other than just talking about it, and they're just doing this stuff here. They don't have anything to do like eat grass or anything, so they're just kind of being themselves. Wow, I could sit and watch the shuffle all day. Yeah. Yeah, so it's a little interesting when we take away the grass and stuff, and so they have to just be themselves purely. And we do have enough horses here, excuse me, to see enough herd dynamic to make it interesting to just understand horses. You stole your mom's bed. You got her spot watching the horse show. So this is fun. Now look at this order. It's like playing chess or something in the horse world. So you got your kings, your queens. Now Juno is the boss mare technically, because she is a mare. And she's the one with the white stripe and the 2 hind socks. So that's Juno. So Juno is the boss mare technically, because she's female and she's the boss of Sally, which is the only other female horse here. So she has established that position with Sally. Now isn't this interesting? Troy is chasing off Sally, which he was so in love with before Sailor showed up. And both of those boy horses are very dominant horses. Like, Troy is very pushy. While Sailor's kind of a gentleman, but Sailor definitely holds his own. I'll tell you that. He looks so sweet, but he holds his own. Hey, Juno. So Juno's kind of coming over to me and asking questions with her head up and down. She comes over and puts her hand over here, her nose over here, and licks and chews, which shows she's coming into relaxation mode. So she's finding protection in my herdmanship. Now I'm gonna show protection. Let's ward off this guy. Let's uphold that respect I'm getting from Juno. So I'm gonna say, get out of here, dude. So I have my whippersnapper, which influences him to move. So it just gives me a length of body here. So I don't have to actually get into a space, so I can just reach this far away without having to be in their space. So since I was kind of talking and not paying attention, he went over to that side. But now Troy can kind of get close to his first herd member, which is Juno. Now I guess it would be important to understand who came first in this herd. So Juno was my first adopted Mustang. And she was first, so she's my baby. She's my baby horse, and we had her since she was 11 months old. And hey, and then came Troy, and he was my late husband's horse, and him and Juno were just so in love. They were running around the barn for hours and hours and hours and hours the first week or few days or something. So Juno and Troy was the original herd for quite some time. And then 10 years later came Miss Mustang Sally. And I think Juno was happy to have a friend, because Juno was kind of lonely, and she just had Troy, and then now she got Sally. So she's got another family member. And then, let's see, Sally came 2015, and then Sailor came 2019. So 4 years later, we got Mr. Sailor. And so he's been here for a year now. And so this also helps illustrate the herd dynamic. But he had no friends, because his little female horse moved because we sold her, and she moved next door. And so he lost that friend, and then I put him with the boys. So the boys and girls live together now. And so he really bonded with Troy, which is nice because I want my herd to get together since these are all my horses and they have to work together as teamwork. And it wasn't like that in the beginning. Sailor was a hard one to crack. I mean, they look so sweet now and he's mirroring his other friends here. But it's work, huh guys? So they're kind of asking questions. What's going on? What's going on? And then you see Troy and Sailor get back into mutual grooming position. And Sailor has now, if you notice his trend, he keeps putting himself in between. Hey, Annie. He keeps putting himself in between the girls and Troy. So just observing these behaviors, you really understand a lot about where they stand, I guess. Yeah, glad you made it, Annie. So we got friends here. For some reason, I thought Sailor had been here a little longer. No, he was adopted April 12, 2019. That's the exact day. So I pretty much know all the exact days that they were adopted. So Juno was adopted December 20th, 2006 at 11 months old. And Mustang Sally was adopted March 5th, 2015, and she was 5 years old. And Sailor, we just told you April 12th last year. And then Troy, he's not a Mustang, but he came to us in 2008 and he was 4 years old. But I know the Mustangs. So we have, just to make it clear, our Mustangs are the brown horses. And then Troy. So this is our beautiful herd. Now I want to show you what we do now that we're a human, and we just explained all these herd dynamics, and you see how, oh, now you see how Juno says, wind, I know. Juno kind of backed up to Sally, and Sally backed up a foot. And what are you eating, Sailor? Don't eat dirt. And Sailor's protecting Troy from the girls. Oh my gosh, he should be going after girls, but he's protecting his boy, since that's who he spends most time with. So they've bonded. But they all spend mutual time in what I call the common grounds. And if you guys watch my other channel, we spend time watching horses eat grass and do various things and explore and forage and become a herd out there. But in here, I've kind of took away an element of distraction, which is the foraging. So we just see their exact dynamic. Juno's kind of like, hey, she throws her head up in the air. She comes right to me. Hi, Juno. She goes right to the stick. She puts her nose on it. Yip, yip, yip. You're so cute, Juno. And then Sally kind of got separated over there, and the boys are wandering around. So Juno's pretty smart. Now, horses like to preserve their energy. So she'd rather be right behind me, Miss Juno, because she's lazy. And it's better than being chased around and running around. So understanding this stuff about horses, you can understand how you work with the horse's behavior in your training. So when we do horse training, we like to do this thing called lunging your horse. And that's just a fancy term. I call it horsey treadmill or hamster wheel or something. So it's kind of like, it's just exercising your horse. And I don't have a perfect round pen, but it's a resemblance of a round pen. I call it egg-shaped pen because it kind of goes small in the corner and it's a little bit egg-shaped looking at it from above. But it's small enough where I can keep them going around in a nice direction. And it's not perfect, so I have to work a little bit harder in here and run up on the long sides and walk short on the short sides. But we're gonna see how this influences. I'm just gonna go general here because we could definitely get into specific request equals specific response. But I'm just gonna influence them to move forward, and then we're gonna see how they work themselves out going around this round pen. So I just got my whippersnapper. shoo, shoo, shoo. And I'm just hitting it up and down on the ground, and they're like, ah, okay, I'm gonna move. So it's just equivalent to the horses kind of pinning their ears back and walking forward and saying, hey, you gotta move, please. And so I always go towards last horse, because if you cut off your last horse, they start going the other direction, which you kind of saw right there. And it's a little bit like that in this pen because, oh, he's gonna use the restroom, we'll come get him later. Because it's, again, egg-shaped, not round, which makes it a little bit difficult. Okay, so Sally, Sally's in the lead. All right, we got to get them working, and we got to get their minds and hearts thinking. Sailor's got to get in. So was Juno saying, please use that stick to get Sailor to move? Or is she... Oh, I missed that last part. It disappeared. She just came to it because it was holding her attention. It's just a point of attention. So it's the horses go to the thing that's sticking out the most from you. And once we get into taming the wild horses and stuff like that, we'll explain more about that. But she was just going to something that I was holding because it was protruding. Okay, so now we have the horses here in the back. We have boys in the back, girls in the front. It's a little bit hard to kind of... It's also a dust cloud in here, so there's dust collecting on my phone. I don't see too good. But, woo! Shoo! Okay, so boys were kind of establishing their herd dynamic there. Troy's like, hey, you're not getting near my girls. Now, Troy has leadership in this round pen work, which we call lunging. So Troy can flip up his tail, look back, and pin his ears, and keep Sailor smashed against that fence saying, hey, slow down, buddy. And Sailor's a little bit impulsed and likes to go fast. Girls are kind of slow and lazy. I'm not paying much attention to them. And there's a bit of a gap here between the two. So I call this kind of killing 4 birds with 1 stone, so to speak, because, you know, there's only so many steps in one day, so many hours in a day and all this kind of stuff. So if I can work 4 horses at once, that's a lot of leverage. As opposed to working each horse individually for 15 minutes, I could get 4 horses worked in 15 minutes. So anyway, so the boys are playing, not working too much. Now, I'm kind of yapping along and not doing what I would normally do. Now, okay, so we're going to change direction here. Good opportunity. And what I want is kind of like this nice single file line and all individualized on the fence and working together. So they have to, it looks a little bit like, I would say, how you break the balls when you play pool. So if you got that little triangle and you put all the balls at the pool table and then you kind of break them apart, that's kind of what it looks like in the beginning with these horses. They're just kind of everywhere, and then they got to find their position. And there's a way you can influence them to get into the exact order that you want. And then observing them, you can find what order works for them. So Sailor in the front is not good for anybody. So I'm just going to make him the last horse by making him the last horse. So I'm just going to get after him and then shoo, shoo, shoo. Yeah, the rest will get in there. Now it's up to Sally to skirt up. Whoop. Sometimes she gets behind Sailor. It's been okay. She knows how to keep her distance. And Troy's up there. I think you guys can see. For me, it looks really dusty. Come on, come on. So I'm going to concentrate a little bit on organizing them here. So see what you observe. Shoo, shoo. Okay, so we got Juno in front. Troy behind Juno. Sailor behind Troy, which is good. Because Troy does a lot of work, actually. Troy is a big teammate for me. See, look how he puts him in his place. Says, hey, you can't cheat and cut up. You stay back there, dude. And if they get enough warnings and they're not heeding the warning, they're gonna throw a kick, saying, hey, I'm not messing. right? Now, you never see a horse just straight out kick. There's always a warning. Always. Now, it may be a small warning sometimes. It might seem like a straight up kick, boom, out of nowhere. But it's a matter of if you are paying attention. There's always a warning. So right now you witness a lot of warnings. The horse's ears are back. Troy's looking back, flicking the tail, saying, hey, stay back there. And Sailor's he's still learning how to play a team like. Sally over here is perfect, so we're not seeing what's perfect angel over here. All this argument up front while Sally's just being a perfect team member with me over here. And Juno's kind of caught in the middle between the boys. So I can influence this. So we can do this change by turn. Turn. Man, the dust clouds. Okay, I want Juno in front. So I'm going to get over here and then let her some space to get up front. There we go. And I like Sailor in the back. And I like Sally in front of Troy, or the girls just be up front, whatever order they find suitable. But the boys got to be in the back. Sailor likes to run fast. Come on girls. Now it's definitely a talent to do this work with the camera, and it's a little different, but it's the same work. And notice that every time Sailor tries to get in and get ahead of Troy, it's always in that corner that's an awkward shape. Down this end is kind of nice and round, and then it goes a little bit long. And then there's a corner in there where it gives Sailor some space. Oh, he didn't do it because I'm talking about it. What are you doing? Brakes. Hey. Now, I don't like Sailor in front because he doesn't team play. So either these guys are going to get in front, or I just single out Sailor so he goes around again and ends up in the back. Come on. And he's following that tail too much. So he's got to go over to his boy. Troy. So we're just going to keep Sailor in the back, and then hopefully we'll pick up Troy next round. Come on, Troy. Come on, Sally. Look at that fancy Sally. Okay, Juno's stopping the herd. I can't see the screen anymore. It's quite windy and dusty. All right, so we're gonna just let them walk here. And I like what I'm seeing, except we just got a gap, and I think that's just the shape of the non-round pen. It creates this gap over here, which isn't helpful. But they're doing a pretty good lineup. So your ideal situation is lining them up nose to tail, maybe a little more space than what these two are doing. Something like that. I don't know how long they've been running right now. I didn't watch the timer. So I was watching some videos today, and there was a video talking about hard to catch horse. And this person did pretty much exactly everything that I teach, except not adding as much pressure. But all the same timing, all the same principles, all the same stuff. So I'm going to show you what we do now to get their attention. And really, when you work with horses, it's all about getting their attention. So here's another little observation thing to have, is their ears. When the ears are completely forward, the attention is completely forward. When the ears are pinned back, they're worried about what's either they're angry or they're worried about what's behind them. And now right here, they're kind of in a relaxed state. So Sailor's kind of half pinning his ears back, saying, hey, you better move off. But if you look at the ears, you want to see the inside of those ears directed right at you. So every inside ear, you want to see the inside of that ear. And that means that attention's on you. So if we stop and look at these guys, where's their ear, their inside ear? See, Troy just lost attention. Let's surprise him. There we go. There's the ear. Hi. And then this one, I have her full attention. She's right here right here next to me, seeking shelter. She's like, I know where to be, and it's next to this one here, because she's gonna move all our feet. So I just established ultimately Boss Mare with all these horses. So I just kind of tap him with the stick, and where did he go? To the Boss Mare. Hi. Hello. How you doing? Bump. Good boy. Okay, now let's see if we still have his attention. Oh, what about this one? Do we get his attention? We even got this one. We have this dude's attention. Full on. So he's gonna respect me because I just got all these horses' feet to move. And then Sally's kind of coming in. Oh look, I just got Sailor's attention. Look what's happening over here. Let's see, I don't want to back up too much because I want kind of this whole scene in sight here. Isn't this interesting? Oh boy, horses. and there's a Sally. Okay, so whoa, we just lost his attention. All he did was touch his face. He's like, oh my God. Okay. So I call this spiral in. So I'm just gonna get Troy's attention. Hi, good boy. Let's get Sally's. Soups, good boy, good girl. So as soon as they give me an ear and an eye, I back up. And that's what creates a draw. And it's really as simple as that. And I watched this gentleman talk about how to catch a horse and do all this stuff. It wasn't wrong. It was very quiet and gentle. But it really doesn't take much. It's not a whole lot of explaining. It's either you want to go away, fine, go away. Make a move. And horses are lazy, so you have that on your side. You let them stop moving. Oh, thank goodness. And then you say, hey, that's good. I got your attention now, and you start walking away, and they go, hey, where'd you go? It's kind of that simple. And you can think about it in terms of like magnets. So, in body positioning. Good boy. And this is the first thing I do with my brand new Mustangs is, I mean, this would not be good for a trained horse or a domesticated horse that might be pushy or had too much people in the beginning or something. But this is definitely fine for your more timid horse or shy horse in the beginning stages, because that could change. Now, my horses all have really good manners in general, just because of the way I handle them. And it's funny because I'll work with a lot of other people's horses and I go, where's the basics? And I'm like, how are you riding down the road like this? And right now he's looking at my whippersnapper. Now at the same time, I don't want to use tools that they are afraid of. So in this case, we have a stick. I don't want them to be fearful of it. I want them to be okay with it too. So he raised his head up a little bit when I brought it up to his back. He's checking it out. Troy's gonna come over here and give him confidence about it. He might nibble on his elbow or something. And I want them curious about it. And that's the state of being that you're creating in the horse. So you have either fear, they talk about fear, fight, or flight, right? Sorry, fear is manifested in behaviors of fight or flight. And so another one they don't talk about is curiosity. And so what I want to do is create a curiousness in my horses. So I don't know, Sally's kind of like, look, what is that? Let's check that out. I swear they know everything I'm saying. You guys are being so good. See, these are my coworkers, I tell you. So she's checking it out. What is that? Okay, curiosity. You have my attention. She's like, but you're boring me. You're boring me. What's up? What's up? She might do a stomp, and then wiping her nose on her leg means the dopamine is happening. She's and then Gina's coming in. Oh, she's probably gonna go to her sister. She's like, I don't know about these boys. And notice, as soon as I looked over at Juno, I lost Sally's attention. So you really got to pay attention to what you're doing to influence behaviors in your animals. Notice when I'm just standing around, we're all standing around swatting flies, just being ourselves. When I start moving them around, they all start running around. When I stop moving, running around, now they got bored because I'm not doing anything and they're gonna go influence each other now. But it doesn't mean I can't get their attention right back. So Juno's my girl. Hi, Miss Monkey. We love you. We love you. And so, see how much time we just spent on just looking at animal behaviors and just what they're doing and all this kind of stuff, and not really learning a whole lot about how to do it, like how to really influence them and what to do. But just all this observing is what I want my students to see. So when you come out here and get to work with horses, or anybody's interested in animals and just nature in general, and kind of how the laws of natures work in herd animals. And it makes a lot of sense for human behavior too. You could actually get some pretty good dating advice from horses. Let me explain. So it kind of goes back to the catch game, right? So you're pursuing someone, you're calling and you go on a date and it was great, and then immediately you're calling back, and then you're always there. And say you're a female, okay, and you're doing all the work for your gentleman. Gentleman's supposed to pursue you, so but you keep going, hey, do you love me? Hey, did you call me? Hey, what are you doing? All this kind of stuff, but you don't give space in order for them to come to you. You just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and demanding the love, demanding the time, demanding this, or expecting this, expecting that. But if you just come in just a little bit, just say, hey. So I'm looking at that ear, inside of the ear, I got her attention. Then I go away. Oh, hey, where are you going? What are you doing? Oh, yeah, let's go over there. But if you keep antagonizing, keep going, you're gonna chase them off, right? Just like I chased them all away. But if I just went in just enough to get their attention and left, then they're kind of like, hey, what are you doing? What's Sailor even doing over there? Now all these horses are following me. Now I'm quite attractive. So that's our little story. Hey, Sally. You're so sweet. And I know Sally is a lot of you guys' favorites, because it's our Sally. So give Sally, give me a kiss. Here's a Sally kiss. Oh, who's back here? We got lover boys, sisters, and Sally's like, what's up? Even Sally's coming in. She says, what's up? You're so shiny, Sally. So do you guys have any questions? I know, oh gosh, look at that wind. I hope the wind wasn't too bad. I know it is effective. So here's our beautiful horses and our beautiful horse behavior. episode. So who is the boss mare out of this herd? We kind of actually have two herds going on, technically. We kind of have a Sally Juno team, and we have a Troy Sailor team. But then during the day when I come here, it's them all together. So out of them all together, who's the bossiest, so to speak? Who's the biggest influencer out of all these horses? I'm waiting for an answer. Hopefully I didn't put you all to sleep. Meditating on horses. I'll wait a little bit for the time lapse to catch up. And hopefully the signal's been good. So, if you don't know, it is ding 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 ding. Sailor. Sailor's the biggest influencer. So he's protecting his boy pretty well, moving the girls around and all that. Now, if you include me in the herd, who's the biggest influencer? The one holding the stick. That's right. That is right. So good job on that. Now they're all relaxed homeostasis, like, can we go eat grass now? So that is about it, guys. Let's see. Let's see how we look. Let's see if they see me as a horse yet. Do we look like a horse yet? We fit in. So anyways, I think that we'll do it for our awesome little Mustang show about behaviors. Now, if you guys have questions about horses, please put it in the comments and I will make a video about it. If you have any questions about anything, if I can help you in some way or just show you something neat about horses, that will make my future videos content. And we will be live Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time because we are in Central Coast, California. And there's some happy horses. And so we will do some fun stuff with these Mustangs and Troy. And I gotta tell you, it's been really, 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 really fun. And I just think all week, like, when are we going live? When are we going live? And Stompy Sally. And I'm so happy to see my students. So if you guys are out here, shout out to students, shout out to moderators, shout out to chat. Everybody in the chat, shout out. And everybody who's here and made it to our live stream. So this is the second live stream on this channel. And I'm super happy about it. And it should probably just get better and more fun. So yeah, we'll be live Wednesdays at 4 California time. And trying to think if there's an announcement. I think that was it though. If you haven't liked this video or subscribed or all that good stuff and hit the bell button, please do so because it would save me some time texting everybody that we're going live, and just expect it. So we will be back Wednesday, and also expect the videos. I did post a little video on Saturday, which is our first of a little trend for Saturday. I think I posted it Sunday, but we'll be posting them Saturday. So hope you guys enjoyed that little video, and the horses and I say we will see you next time. Bye. I think I gotta figure out how to turn it off though. It's different. Nope. I did it last time. No? We'll have to figure it out. Here, look at horses while I'll figure it out. I did it last time, so how do we end up? Okay, are we stopping? Okay, I think I gotta turn the camera around. Okay, we are stopping the stream. We will see you guys later. I love you guys. Have a beautiful day.